For the fans. For the players. For the big plays. Firebirds Weekly. This week's guest is Josh Zacher.
Welcome to Firebirds Weekly, your show about the Albany Firebirds. My name is Adam Samarov. My co-host at the other end of the table is Chris Sipperly. And in the middle, we have two pieces of the offensive line from your Firebirds, Josh Zacher and Colby Byrd. Gentlemen, glad to see you tonight.
Thanks for having us.
As you've seen, over the last few months, we've been doing the interviews with these guys, and tonight is no exception. We definitely want to get the fans to really learn about who you guys are. So we'll start, with Colby. From Virginia Beach.
Yes, sir.
Went to Lansdowne High School down there, and Virginia Union for a year, and then eventually to Norfolk State.
Yes, sir.
Tell me a little bit about your football life growing up. How'd you get involved in football? Who was some people that were involved in that? Tell me a little bit about when you were growing up.
Well, I always watched football, always loved football. My dad was a big football guy, so he always kept me around it, kept me watching it. Was a walk-on both at Virginia Union and Norfolk State, and eventually got put on scholarship at Norfolk State, just kind of chipping away, grinding, kept getting better. Coach Torrey was a real big part of that, helped me develop, helped me get the confidence I felt like I needed to play at that level, and just kept going there from there.
Where did you what age did you start playing football?
Forever, since I got kicked out of my youth soccer team for tackling somebody.
Hey, you know what? You always end up where you're supposed to be.
Yeah, I think
and
so.
Soccer field was not it.
No, it was not.
Yeah, it's funny. I played one season of soccer, and I remember telling my mom I was never doing that again.
No,
I'd rather throw rocks in the lake than play soccer.
yeah, I mean that's fun too.
Yeah,
It's almost like every offensive lineman's origin story.
yeah.
Put them into soccer, and then I'm good. I don't need that.
No.
So talk about playing in an area like Virginia Beach. We've kind of talked to some guys, guys that live in Mississippi, Alabama. I mean, football is a different animal down there, and Virginia is kind of in that mid-Atlantic kind of thing. Just talk about football in Virginia, and you kind of talked about a little bit some of the rival schools or some of the top in the nation, like Ocean Lakes, for example. Just talk about high school football in Virginia and what that is.
It was competitive. It was fun. Kind of growing up, you're going to know a lot of people who you're playing against. So that rivalry, our biggest rival was Salem, like 3 minutes down the street from Lansdowne. So a lot of the guys know each other, played with each other growing up our whole lives. And I think the funnest is just honestly being from Virginia Beach and going down to the ocean and playing on the sand, and really can't run, can't move like you're used to, but still just, oh my God, you're so gassed too. Running on the beach is no joke. But that's some of the funnest memories I had, is just playing with the people I grew up with, and in the backyard, and being able to play against them in high school and some in college and everything. So that was the funnest I can imagine.
And so you stay in state to go to Virginia Union. You do that for, like I said, a year, and then to Norfolk State, and you're a preferred walk-on at the FCS school. Talk about that process. Coming out of high school, were you recruited a lot, or was it kind of, hey, let me find a good fit for me? Tell me about that story.
So I always just said I felt like I sucked in high school. I wasn't as good.
Again, spoken like a true offensive lineman. Yeah, I'm not good.
Being my biggest critic, just not feeling like I was at the level I needed to be. Wasn't recruited heavily. I had an offer to Alderson Broaddus, a Division II school in West Virginia, and kind of just wasn't ready to leave yet. So Virginia Union, I felt like, was a better opportunity for me. Stayed there one semester, private school, a little more expensive. So went to Norfolk State, walked on there. Had Coach Chris Sweet is my first offensive line coach there. Came from the CFL, learned a lot from him. Just stayed in the weight room, got on a better meal plan, and then transitioning, going to Coach Torrey and working out with him in the off season, and him staying around and making sure his guys were top notch. Like that's really what kind of took me to the next level.
And that's something I don't think you'd think about. Like, even though you're an athlete, you think, oh, you're on, the FCS level or whatever it is, and it's like you still got to worry about, like, how am I going to pay for this?
Right.
Like, I still going to school. Student athlete is the idea.
Yeah, I got fired from a job one time because I told them if I got a meeting, I'm going to the meeting. I'm sorry, and they said, okay, we understand, but they didn't understand. So,
Yeah, until the
lost
time
that
came.
job. Yeah.
I think as young people, we've all lost a job because of that.
Yeah.
You set up these expectations. Everything's cool until it's not.
Yeah, no, right, but hey, it worked out.
So when you're there, first couple of years, obviously you're dealing with the pandemic. Talk about trying to make your way as kind of this, I don't want to say fringe, that's not the right word, but this kind of like preferred walk on type of thing during the pandemic when everything kind of shut down, and it was, now what?
Yeah, it was tough for me because that was my first. I wasn't eligible at first from transferring.
Mhm.
Grades weren't the best after that, so then I really had to hunker down to school. But that was like the first year where I was actually supposed to be playing, and that really hurt because we were going to play a shortened season, 8 games, and it got down to 6, and then for them to cancel the season, like I remember exactly where I was when we got the message saying that the season was going to be canceled, and like that just broke my heart because I felt like I've been working so hard, and I just for like want my family to see me play.
Right.
And that hurt, but at the end of the day, I mean, got more time to get better and came out, had a strong 2021 year, so it ended up working out.
Well, I was going to say, I mean, just looking at some of the stats, and and again, obviously, offensive linemen, we don't have as many stats, obviously, as some of those little guys.
Yeah,
We won't get into that, but helping lead the team to the top scoring offense, top rushing offense.
Yeah.
So talk about that time in between when COVID, you go through that low to the high of then the next year as a junior, being able to lead and become a all MEAC player.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing was is that we all we stayed close by, we stayed close to each other. We were always talking, always making sure that we're all working out. Like I said, I was with Coach Torrey still in a mask on the field, getting work in the sand pit, getting with a bag and a band and whatever we had to do to get better, and just making sure everybody was on the same page and what our goals were and what we knew that we could do. And like ultimately fell a little bit short, but individually, offensive line, we had 4 of our guys were first team All MEAC that year, and like that kind of just doesn't happen. So, but we played how we knew that we could play, and it ended up being a good year for us.
Do you think missing a year kind of like rekindled your love for the game, like not losing that whole season, then 21 coming back? Do you feel like that was a big part of your success that year?
In a way, because I mean, I feel like I could have sat on the couch, but I mean, I was in my garage working out with the old workout set, doing whatever I felt like I had to do to get better. So just knowing that it's what I wanted to do and knowing that I wanted to get better, like that felt good. Definitely.
Well, for sure. And I think one thing that I certainly as Adam and I get older, I think the more you realize that really your window to play football is so small.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And you can't get that time back, and it's all on what you do with that time. And you didn't waste it by the sounds of it.
No, I couldn't let myself sit down on the couch, get too big. Couldn't do that.
Right.
I wanted to, ask you, it's one thing, left tackle, right tackle, obviously every position has their different idiosyncrasies, their ins and outs. Talk about playing center. You've got to be the leader of that line. You have to have great chemistry with your quarterback. Just talk about, playing center and being able to be the top of your game at that position and how different that is in even say a left guard or a right tackle.
Well, in this league specifically, having a guy lined up on you every single play and knowing that he's just going to try to run down your chest, like you got to make sure you're quick. My feet have to be right. My hand placement has to be right, because if it's not, it's going to show, and I'm going to be pushed right back into Sam's lap, and that's just not a place I want to be. And so it's a different outdoor game,
We'll talk about the outdoor game too. I do want to get, obviously we're going to get into the Albany and the Firebirds and all that. I want to talk about it on the outdoor side.
And I feel like it's easier on the outdoor side, honestly, as a center. You're going against a one tech or a 2-eye. You're able to move a little different. You don't necessarily have to be as fast. Still got to be technical, but it's like, honestly, I feel like outdoor playing center is easy. Guard, I feel like it's kind of the same here. Like guard
I can see where you're coming from in that. Like with center, with the outdoor, I mean, you never truly have a playoff.
No,
but you have nothing but plays on.
Yeah,
when you play center indoor.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's more outdoor. I feel like it's more zone scheming and,
Yeah.
and gap schemes and stuff. But here it's one-on-one.
How did you get to be a center? A lot of times you don't start as a center. That's kind of thing where they're like, hey, let's get a guy that can snap.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, crap, you can snap pretty good. I've been around that part of it for my football life. How did you kind of get to play that position? Was it something you did right off the bat, or when you were in high school, they kind of tabbed you for it and you were like, okay.
My coach, I just played all across the line going in my freshman year, like going through tryouts and everything in high school. And my coach, Coach Riemann, just told me, like, we feel like you're smart. You're able to process stuff on the field. Like, we'd love for you to try center out. First time taking snaps at that point, was just practicing snapping into a bin until I felt like I was getting the best snaps I could, and then just haven't played any other position since.
So let's, I want to go back a little bit to you talk about the stuff during COVID and trying to get that. It seems like it's almost easier because you can, like, okay, as a left guard or whatever, you can do your steps and that's well and fine, but at least with that you can have a ball, you can snap it to a garbage pail or something.
Yeah.
Like, talk about the preparation, just staying mentally on it during that COVID period.
Well, I'd just say really shout out to my dad and my sister for kind of putting up with me, because I was just sitting in the garage, music blaring, going through my steps, working out as much as I could, kind of attaching the band to the railing to get my steps forward, putting it around my back to get my kick steps right. And at center, I got to have my left side and my right side have to be pretty much even. It can't only work one side.
Mm-hmm.
So just doing as much as I could, just getting towels and making sure you're on the right path, and anything I could do at that point.
So tell me a little bit about what happens after you leave Norfolk, and talk about your journey from there to coming here to Albany.
So I started last year, played at Duke City at first. I didn't feel like that was the best fit for me. They ended up not making it this year, but got out of that, went to San Antonio, played with Isaiah and Sam and Love.
Yep.
Got to really know those guys, and oh my gosh, going against Harold Love every single day is going to make you better.
Well, that's one of the questions I actually had written down. So yeah.
It's going to make you better from the start, from day one, and just knowing the difference from last year to this year. And he even comes up to me and tells you, like, I'm so proud of you, like, from how you were last year, this year, I can see the changes you're making, and that definitely feels good to hear from a leader on your team.
Mm-hmm.
So that, yeah.
So was it a matter of just them guys, quote unquote, recruiting you, like, hey, come to Albany, there's an opportunity here for you?
I had talked to Coach Ware last year. I just honestly didn't know enough about the leagues coming out of college, and but then after I learned more about it, after I went through what I went through with my previous teams, I figured Albany was going to be the best place for me, and I was definitely right about that.
How was it going from the outdoor game to the indoor game? We talk about that a little bit with, like the receivers, but it's, in the end of the day, it's still guys catching passes.
Yeah.
Like, it's a different thing because you're so much more crunched in. Talk about the difference in offensive line play between the outdoor game and the indoor game.
Actually, you got to be quick. You got to be fast. There's not much room for error. It's a shorter field. The pocket's going to collapse a little bit faster if you let it. You got to really be on point, and it's helped my technique a whole bunch. Like, one-on-one blocking was really never my strong suit. Going up against a one tech was always a lot easier, being able to get that angle. But now it's like I just got somebody right in front of me, and he can go either way. So I got a different sets for different people. Got to switch it up a little bit, make sure my offhand gets on right away. Like, that's all stuff I feel like I've improved on since being on the indoor game.
During practice, is Harold the toughest guy to go against?
Harold and Zeke, it's not.
Zeke too?
Yeah, there's not.
It's 1A, 1B.
It's they make it rough for sure.
Yeah.
They get us prepared though, definitely.
Yeah, I don't think they. I mean, I haven't seen you guys at practice, but I'm assuming there's no real practice speed. I think it's just go and whatever happens.
Doesn't matter. 60%, 80%. It's all 100 up front. We got to go.
Talk about your experience so far here. Obviously the team is doing very well. Obviously, after the overtime win, you guys are undefeated still. How has the experience been playing for the Firebirds in terms of, like, the fans, and we have the flock support and things like that? Talk about your dealings with that.
That's stuff I've never witnessed. It's something I'm, like, honestly grateful to be a part of. Like, I've never been 7-0. I keep telling everybody back home or my family, like, this is the best team I've been a part of, from offense, defense, coaches, how they have us prepare. Like, this is the best situation I feel like I've been in football wise. And the fans, like, every game is loud. Even Friday, Sunday, we still yet to have a Saturday game here, but, like, the games are
that
loud.
should be electric, man.
Yeah, and against Nashville's a good team, and it should be something.
Yeah, it'll be fun. It'll be so fun.
All right. So now we're going to switch gears and we're going to talk to Mr. Zacher here. I do actually before I start to talk to him. Any chances you're catching any passes like he did, rumbling, bumbling, stumbling last night or yesterday afternoon?
If I did, I probably only need one hand, so I'll talk to Coach about it.
All right. The
So-
gauntlet has been laid down.
Well, before we hop over there,
Oh, okay.
what makes it? How would it need to happen in order for you to be center eligible in the
Zero.
league? Like I say, I don't think there's a way, right?
Sorry, bud.
Well, we've talked about some pitches and working something out, and I don't. Maybe he'll fumble one time. I'll be right behind him. I'm a hustler,
I
so
told you we could hold the ball together.
we'll work
Right
on
in the
it.
end zone.
Yeah.
That's what you do. Just go tandem in the end zone.
Yeah, we'll
So-
work on it. We'll work on that this week.
Henry's scored already, so it's just a matter of time before one of you guys.
Henry's an athlete. He's not your average kicker. I love Henry.
Josh, you're a New Jersey guy.
Yes, sir.
Livingston High School. Talk about playing in New Jersey again. We say northeast, obviously, but New Jersey has produced a lot of NFL players over the years, and it's a brand of football definitely that's pretty good. So talk about your time there.
At Livingston High School, I actually have the opportunity now. I actually coach there still.
Oh, okay.
That's awesome.
I did not know that.
I get 2 football seasons a year. So my life is definitely super crazy. But it's Group 5 football. Group 5 is the biggest. We play really good teams. I mean, we're playing PCTI, Union City, big schools who are putting out kids every single year. So there's definitely great competition. So I got some really good film coming out of high school. Just kind of going into high school, I was really not a football player. My parents are actually both musicians. My dad is 6'5" and a heck of a bass player. They met in a 80s wedding band. So my mom was the lead singer.
That's
Yep.
It's like the movie Wedding Singer with Adam Sandler.
Pretty much.
That's awesome.
I repeat.
So
I will choke you with this microphone cord.
they were not very big football people. They produced some pretty large kids though.
Yeah.
Always
my,
helpful.
My oldest brother is 6'9".
Oh, wow.
He's in a band. Didn't play sports very much other than rec. My other brother is 6'7", and he's a professional opera singer. He sings all over the country. And then I'm 6'2", and I play football. So it's been, I curse them every day. But
What's the age, like age range with you guys?
my oldest brother is a good bit older.
Oh, okay. So it's not like 3, right? In the like a 5-year period or something where you guys are all
Closest to me is like 6 years.
Oh, okay.
6.5 years.
Okay,
Oh,
so
wow.
you never got to play with you never got to do
No,
anything like that,
No. I mean, I did grow up playing a little bit of hockey. My brother Jason got into it, the opera singer. He still plays hockey from here or there in beer league. But I was so big as a kid that sometimes they would bring me. I was a goalie. They used to call me Goldberg from the Mighty Ducks. So
Flying V. Sorry.
yeah. So when I was in high school, sometimes their goalie wouldn't be able to make the game, and I was big enough that I would basically, be able to come in as his double.
Excellent.
So So growing up, I didn't really get into football. I played a couple years here or there. Kind of wasn't for me. We were in weighted leagues in our town, which is just tough.
Probably if you were too heavy, you'd probably move up to the next level.
Yeah, and I just was always a bigger kid. I definitely didn't enjoy cutting weight. So, going to weigh-ins every Saturday, it was just rough as a kid.
Mhm.
So,
That's a lot on a kid. Like
It is.
it's not. I mean, I understand it, but yeah, I mean, shoot, I remember having to do that when I was a kid. It was just like, but mom, why?
it's tough.
It is.
It's tough. And it's, it kind of takes the fun out of it as a kid. And you're maturing too. And you worrying about your weight all the time. I just don't feel like it's healthy for kids. But anyway, kind of got into high school and got a little taller, but I wasn't necessarily very big at the time. And one of the coaches that I coach with now, Stephen Kroger, actually came up to me because he knew my cousin. She had said something to him, and he just kept bugging me at lunch in middle school to play football. And I told him, no, I don't want to play football. I have no interest in it. And then for some reason, last minute of lunch at middle school, I decided to sign up for freshman football.
Okay. And you were hooked at that point.
I was just hooked. I was hooked. And I just remember my parents are super supportive, but they always told me, no matter what you do, you better make sure you do it 100%. So there was no quitting. There was nothing like that. So once I said it was football, my mom and dad started reading every book there was, going to every one of my training sessions with a camera. So they're definitely a lot of the reason why I think I've made it as far as I have. And, just going through high school, they just did whatever it took with me. And so, I went through that, wound up having a coaching change for my senior year, was part of a big culture shift for us. It was actually my kindergarten PE teacher who actually taught me like how to throw a football, wound up becoming my varsity head coach in my senior year. So I thought that was pretty awesome. And he is now my boss.
Because he's your coach, the varsity coach now.
Yep.
What are you offensive line or defensive line or both?
Offensive line and middle linebackers.
And
also defense.
So did you gravitate towards offensive line on your own, or is that kind of like, hey man, we need you to give it a shot?
It was definitely a body type thing.
Yeah.
I was not the fastest.
Yeah.
I put a lot of work in to get, as fast as I am. But I kind of just got put there, and I never played anything else.
You know better.
So, talk about your route, going to Shippensburg, that's Division II in Pennsylvania. And just talk about your route. Like you said, you weren't one of these kids, like Colby next to you. Hey, I've been playing since I was 5, like whatever. It's a different route for you. Just talk about that process to going to Shippensburg.
Absolutely. So, I went into high school at 160. I wound up working my tail off and wound up my senior year becoming 290 pounds.
Wow.
It's a lot of milkshakes.
Yeah.
They
wouldn't give me most changed in high school because they thought it was mean, but I thought it'd be funny. So
class clown, something, anything.
It was a lot of work, but I was definitely a late bloomer. And so, those big Division I schools, they're kind of out of the picture if it's not junior year. Had a couple FCS schools I was talking to, and then, kind of chose one place. I'm not going to put them on the spot, but, I chose one place, and then they kind of pulled my offer before. So got to watch all my friends sign on signing day. And Shippensburg had been apparently emailing me, and my mom was emailing as me.
Oh, no way.
That is terrific.
Yeah. So my mom basically got tired of seeing me sulk around, and one day just printed out a bunch of stuff from Shippensburg, pulled up YouTube videos of the head coach speaking, and she said, "We have a visit to Shippensburg this week. You're going." And so went there, and she was absolutely right. I fell in love with everything that was there. I mean, it's a place. You get 8,000 people, Seth Grove Stadium, in the middle of Pennsylvania. There's cornfields, but there's football out there. Okay. And it was, it's a great atmosphere, a great place to play. The coaches are hard on you, but they know what it takes to win football games. I went there my first year, and we were 10-2. And that was something I wasn't necessarily used to.
Mm-hmm.
And I had so many older guys. I know when you talk about Division II football at first, and you're a kid coming out of high school, and you think you're a Division I kid, you go there and you're like, I'm going to step right on the field right away. And I got there, and I saw, we had one of the best defenses in the country that year in Division II, and I got to go against those guys every single day on the scout team.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just learning from so many older guys that had learned from their older guys. And it was just just a great tradition of football over there.
No, that's big. I think, again, sound like an old guy, but I think that probably is a big part of your success. Not to speak for you, but actually like paying attention, listening, understanding these people that are actually trying to help you. They're not, trying to push you because they don't like you. It's actually the opposite.
Absolutely.
You know?
Absolutely. Yeah, and I actually had the opportunity when I was in college. One of the older guys actually came back, who was an older guy for a lot of my older guys. It was Jake Metz, who played for the Empire.
Okay.
So he was on the Soul Empire.
Yep.
Played with Castronova.
Yeah, he had a big interception in the championship game against Carolina.
Yeah, so he came back to school for a little bit, so I got to. That's where I kind of learned about arena football and a lot of those things, just from him, and just soaking up a lot of the things just through talking and hanging out and hearing the way that he spoke to his young guys, and then eventually just becoming an older guy and trying to emulate the way that those leaders led me. So
kind of passing it on to the next group of guys coming in.
Absolutely.
And then you move on to Duquesne. Talk about your experiences with the Dukes.
Yep. So graduated from Shippensburg. After that COVID year, it was kind of tough on our class. We put a lot in, wound up having a great year.
You were the 2021 group then.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. So yep. So we just had a lot of talented players, but at some point they knew their football dreams were probably done and they were done with school. So a lot of my friends had decided that they were done playing. They were going home. So I made the decision that I was going to try to hit the transfer portal. I did, got a chance to go to Duquesne, and Duquesne is another just tremendous football program.
Staying right in Pennsylvania.
Yep. Right in Pittsburgh.
Mm-hmm.
So, and Shippensburg was a nice halfway point from the way home. So I would always get to kind of visit there too. But I had some tremendous coaches there. Coach Schmidt is one of the winningest coaches in that conference's history. So getting to hear the way that he talks about offensive line and the pride that he takes in the trenches, and it was just so great to have a head coach that was an offensive lineman and just knew so much about it. And then I had Coach Sill, who was his best friend, who was my offensive line coach. So it's two best friends, two O-line guys running the program. So it was just,
I feel like that's pretty rare.
It was tremendous.
Yeah.
It was tremendous. I mean, let me tell you, we run the ball over there.
That's right.
So you better know how to run block.
Yeah, I was going to say, no going backwards.
No.
As offensive lineman. No way.
No. We had some good rushing stats that year. We did. And a very good offensive line. And it was a great program. I wish I had longer to be there. Unfortunately, it was only a year. But I made some lifelong friends there. It was great.
One of the things looking at our notes that Chris put together, you earned your degree in early childhood education. There is something to be said for a guy that's 290 pounds teaching little guys.
Yep.
I'm teaching 8th grade right now. I did a career switch, and that's one thing. But you got the little 4s and 5-year-olds, and you're this big dude.
It's like kindergarten cop.
It's got to be. Have you had a chance to get involved with that yet? Obviously, you're coaching. That's the high school kids. But
yeah, I have. I did. We had to do field hours and everything.
That's correct.
So me sitting crisscross applesauce on the floor is definitely pretty funny to walk into a classroom and see. But I definitely enjoyed it. I always knew. Like I said, I'm very close to my high school head coach, and I told him I wanted to get into coaching, and he really pushed me to pursue education because that was just a way that I would always, no matter what level I coach, I always have an education degree to fall back on.
And that's something I love. Obviously we talk about the high level D1 NFL guys. It's okay, what next for you? Obviously for you guys, it's you've got that degree. So it's yeah, football will last as long as it lasts, but now I've got something afterwards. And that's one of the really cool things with you guys is that you guys know, hey, there's something that's after this.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So it's just I substitute, they know I have a half the degrees. It was a dual program, so it was special ed too.
Mhm.
So
Same here.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at, is special
Okay.
education.
Okay,
Mhm.
so usually my principal knows me very well. So he tries to put me into the special ed rooms as much as possible when I substitute. And I love it. I mean, we have a life skills classroom and we have an 18 to 21 program. It's just like, I love working in there. I get to work in there during the day and then go coach football. So it's not a bad life at all.
That's good stuff. Well, now, but since you're still here and we're still playing football, talk about, you played for the Bay Area Panthers in the IFL last year, and then coming to Albany. Talk about coming to Albany and having that chance. How did that happen in terms of you coming here to the Firebirds?
To the Firebirds. Yeah. So, I mean, last year was my rookie year. Kind of got to Bay Area, played at in an FCS bowl actually with Colby. We played next to each other
Okay.
for a little bit.
Yeah.
Nice.
So I had known him before.
So was it the first time you guys met then?
Yes. Yeah.
Out of Florida.
Was there a stop in between that in Albany that you guys played together or no?
No.
That's awesome.
So we had met each other at the FCS bowl.
Yep.
Wound up killing that team. I don't remember what the score was.
No, me neither.
But
Wasn't close.
Neither does he.
Was it 100-12?
Not that bad.
I don't think they would have let it get there, but it might have been able to. And so actually the defensive coordinator of the other team was Rob Keefe, the head coach of Bay Area. So
Okay, yeah, there's the Albany tie there.
I always
obviously. Yep.
last year loved to remind him that I beat him.
Hmm.
But he was also good friends with one of my defensive linebacker coaches in college. They played together at Youngstown State, so that's kind of how I ended up there. Had a pretty successful year at Bay Area. It's just in California and far away.
Yes,
Mhm.
as far as away can get for you.
The hardest part is, you're playing, you want people to be able to come out to games. And that was something that I realized playing really far away. And I had never played that far away.
Mhm.
And my parents tried to make it as much as possible, but it's hard to.
It's a 6-hour flight.
That's a big ask.
It's a lot of money.
Yeah.
It's a lot of money too. And it's just they made a couple games, but it's just tough. So I was out there. I enjoyed my time. We had a successful year. Actually got to beat Sam Castanova last year. So I like to remind him of that too. But yeah, so it was a successful year. And then, it's funny how things manifest. I said something about, one place I would really want to play is Albany, just because it's so close. I could have people come out.
Mhm.
I know last year you guys played in the mall. That's 30 minutes from my house.
Right.
The brawl in the mall.
Yeah. So, I saw it, and then all of a sudden, Coach Ware just reached out to me, and I'm sure I followed him first, but
Yeah, that's kind of the protocol.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
So yeah, and then just through talking, just kind of learned what you guys are all about, and wound up signing here.
Something that a lot of people know, but they really don't, is the communication you guys have on the offensive line. Talk about that a little bit in terms of how you guys work together so well, because you can't just be one, you got to be a full unit.
Absolutely. I think communication here in indoor is a little different. One thing I had to train like every day is putting my hand up because I'm eligible every play. So like if I ever switch to the guard, I gotta like remind myself not to put my hand up every play. That definitely takes training. Early in camp, I remember that was Coach Bo was yelling at us all the time. Who's the tight end? So he was yelling at us, and you throw your hand up real quick, and that's the first thing. But definitely in terms of the run game stuff, we always have to talk. We have calls that we have to make together. But it's more a lot of communication on the sidelines as well. We have to talk about, because sometimes we're switching sides. One play I'll be on the right side, one play I'll be on the left. I got to talk to whoever was over there. Is if it's Zay, if it's Brandon, if it's Colby, because he could go out there too. We have to talk about what type of moves is that guy working against you. So it takes a lot of communication, just because you're not going to see the same person all game long.
Is it something too where you have to, like, everybody kind of has to know everything? So like you'd have to know the center spot if Colby ends up going is either down or has to take a play or whatever. Talk about that thing in terms of having to know all of it.
Yeah, so position versatility is crucial in this game. I mean, Colby works every position. I can work every position. Brandon works every position. Zay is where he's at. Okay.
Say is where he's at.
Yeah, but I think it's important that we're all able to step up in whatever combination that we are, and we've talked about that before. I mean, we have 4 linemen, 5 with Hick, but we really are one unit. We're a team that it doesn't matter who's out on the field. If 4 people are there, 4 people are dressing, 4 are playing. And I think that's something that's been really important for us, like preparing every single person. If it's, whoever the 4th guy is, like this week it was me, the 4th guy. I had to prepare every position. I had to be ready. Brandon had to be ready for every position. Colby took reps at every position. So I think no matter what happens, hopefully we don't need to use it. But we're always preparing. We're always preparing.
I also help coach high school in Bennington in Vermont, and for us, our head coach is also an offensive lineman when he played, and it's 5'11s. That's like the call. It's not about one. We're the biggest part of the team. We're 5'11s, and so when you have that chemistry and that together, like that can make your life so much easier, and you can see it on the field.
Absolutely. And that's like the biggest thing coming here is we've gotten so close as a unit. Even with the fullbacks, we include the fullbacks in there too. Yeah, we do. So we just all want to be on the same page. We know, especially, if we can do our job at a high level, we already know what Sam's going to be able to do. It's almost like we're just trying not to get in the way.
Right.
So we just, we keep him clean. We're going to have a great day.
So yesterday, actually getting a catch, getting a throw and making a catch from Sam. How often did you have to do that when you were growing up? And just talk about being able to catch a pass and in that kind of situation as the tight end.
Yeah, absolutely. So I was definitely the offensive lineman who always tried to pretend like he's a receiver. I still do it. So
your kids probably do it. Your football players probably do also.
Yeah. I was a little further ahead in catching the ball.
I'll do that.
No, but I think I work a lot. I worked a lot on my athleticism over the years, like especially coming out of college, like running the 40, all those things, and then just you have a lot of time in between workouts to just go catch a pass. Another thing, I mean, I'll be honest, growing up, I didn't catch the ball that much other than just me messing around. I did have a touchdown in high school at fullback, but I didn't have to catch it. But I think, honestly, coaching high school and trying to help out my receivers, I'll go out there and run routes sometimes. Sometimes our OC, Coach Fisher, will be sitting there throwing the ball, and I'll go out there and try to run the routes for him. Try to show them that we're not washed up, so
there you go.
So, we have a little fun. But I think honestly, just catching the ball more in the off season, I'm around football all year round. So, I mean, I'm probably catching the football all year round. It's not something that I probably actively work, but it's what I like to do for fun.
So what was your thought when you're seeing the ball? Because I'm sure it's slow motion. When you see that ball floating from Sam's hand, what are you thinking at that point? What's your initial thought at that moment?
Don't drop the ball. No.
Is it that obvious? Yeah, I would be like, I don't want to look like an idiot here.
So I'll be honest. In practice, Sam throws the ball and it's nice and light, but when we get in those game reps, he starts slinging the ball, and I swear I heard one of them just whizzing through the air. And I was just as shocked as everyone else that I probably caught the ball.
I was impressed. You went another 10, 15, maybe 20 yards, man.
Appreciate that.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
That was probably the most impressive part of the whole thing.
I knew I'd be okay when I caught the ball. I just was a little nervous about catching the ball. But it was good. Coach Ware has been trying to set that up for a little bit now. Because, it's something that we have practiced.
Well, to me, it was a really, really good call because you rarely see it that deep in your own territory.
Well, and that's the thing. Like a lot of these arena defenses, they cheat.
Yeah, oh yeah.
So especially with our passing game is incredible as it is, what they'll try to do is take their backside linebacker and fly them to them and basically showing no respect for the tight end. And
How dare you not block that guy?
It's all right.
Cover that guy that has a 60 number.
But let me tell you, they started covering me later in the game. So, it only takes one. I always say the goal is not for me to go score a touchdown. The goal is to open up the passing game more. But of course, I appreciate a touchdown if I get one.
So, how many yards are you behind DB3? How many more catches and how many yards do you got to rack up over a very short period of time?
You only got 3 games.
Yeah, I don't know if we got that one. I don't know if we got that.
No doubt. So, Adam, I wanted to.
I see that there's some comments from Denise and Stephanie and some of the regulars.
Yeah, so we're gonna, I guess, call this a lightning round, sort of speak. First question is, being that your parents were in a 80s cover band, are there any 80 songs that continuously rattle around in your head?
Oh my gosh, I'm trying to even think. What's the song that You've Got the Beat song? What's that called?
Is that the Go-Go's?
It might be.
Sing it.
No.
Well, you said you were gonna earlier. I mean, what the hell happened?
No.
All right,
that one. Yeah, that one. That one. Yep. I'm not singing it, but
Karaoke time. Let's get now.
I couldn't tell you the words, but I do hear it.
I'm trying to find some other ones here. There's a lot of good comments. I mean, I guess was more of a statement in regards to Colby. Denise had said Josh wouldn't fill out a adopt a player survey until he officially made the team. He didn't want to jinx himself. So apparently that struck a chord with the modern flocker. So to speak.
Talk about the flock a little bit, real quick. We're getting to the end here, obviously, but just what does that group mean to you, being a player here, and just seeing what they do to support the team and this, the players on it?
The flock is incredible. I've never seen such wonderful people who just want to support us, and I am just so thankful every single time we get. I mean, I'm so bad at filling out those player surveys because in my head I'm like, I hope they buy one thing,
right?
And they get everything, and I mean it's incredible. They go above and beyond. I mean, they have no idea probably how much that means to us. It's even just like the handwritten notes in there. Just makes it feel, even though I'm not too far from home, but I am in a different place. It's just feeling that support. They're going to be there for you no matter, if they know you had a bad game or not. Okay. I know I've had some rough plays some weeks, and I've sat here and I've gotten the note in the flock bag, and I've just been like, oh, it's really, really nice. It's really nice. So we really appreciate it. Got anything?
We love y'all. I never experienced nothing like that. Like Josh said, I feel like I ask for like the least amount of things I can because I feel bad half the time. And I told them one time, and they said, please don't. Like, we want to do this for y'all. And every time it's my bag gets bigger and bigger. It feels like I cannot thank y'all enough.
So there's another question here, and I feel like this is a loaded question. So my apologies to Jesse. Which coach on the coaching staff of the high school level is the most supportive for you playing in the AFL? Don't forget the film coach. Does that sound familiar to you at all? That name?
Me?
Yeah, either one of you. Jesse Petchers?
Oh, goodness. Yeah, so Jesse Petchers is – so we have so many kids nowadays. Jesse's a great kid.
Okay. All right.
Okay, so he's one of your players.
Jesse is what we call our GA.
He's graduate assistant.
Yeah, he's our film guy. He's in high school, and that kid, I'm going to tell you right now, he's going to be coaching somewhere very, very big, being that he's starting it now. But what was his question? His question was, what was...
It says, which coach on a coaching staff on a high school level is most supportive for you playing in the AF1? Don't forget the film coach.
I'm not saying him. Is most supportive. I would probably say my head coach is definitely super supportive. I mean, he's put me in a position to move up on his coaching staff to be a coordinator, but while also being able to live this life too. So last year I had so many coaches. The IFL season goes later, and so I was still in season when we were getting into camp, and I had so many coaches pick up for me and do things the way that I wanted them to, because I'm a little OCD.
I don't care. That's the thing.
Yeah. And it's just, the entire coaching staff is so supportive. They help me out. They pick up anytime they want me to go chase my dreams. And half of them will be probably at the game this Saturday. So they're going to get to see me play, a lot of them for the first time since high school. So it's going to be pretty cool.
So one more for you, Josh. Do you like coaching or playing better?
And do your students watch the games? That's the other half of the question.
Okay. Yes, my students watch the games. So if I have a bad play, I have about 1 million texts because I'm the one that get to yell at them when they have a bad play. But what was the other question?
Do you like coaching or playing better?
Oh, that's tough. They're just different. Of course, I love playing. There's nothing like playing football. There's nothing like being able to go hit somebody. Coaching is a different love for the game. I mean, I get to see my teaching of offensive linemen, especially, is getting to see what I teach them on the field and see when it all comes together and it's just perfect. It's like artwork. It's just, coaching. Of course, I love playing, but that's just me. I mean, besides my brothers that we get to do it together with. But coaching young men and getting to, and young women too, we do have a female on the team. But just getting to see them get better every day, that's a different love and a different passion that I have. But
so one last question for Colby. You've been through the process of going, through high school and going through college, and now you're at the professional ranks. What's the biggest piece of advice you can give anybody, young person coming through, to try to reach their goals?
I think the best thing I ever heard was from my old offensive coordinator. Just put your head down and work. Like don't pay attention to nothing else that's going on. It's just got to put your best foot forward. It's not about what nobody else is doing. It's about what you can do for yourself. So just put your head down and work. It's going to be tough. It's going to get hard, but you just got to push forward.
Yep. Amen to that.
Definitely. Gentlemen, we love having you here tonight, and we definitely want to talk to you again, and hopefully, everything keeps going the way it's going, and we'll get it done here Saturday at 7 against Nashville. And I just want to make sure, tonight we're at the Clock Tower Hotel. Didn't say that in the beginning, here in Latham, and our stuff is on Evergreen now. The games will be on there as well. Since it's Saturday nights, they're not on the Vice for Saturday night games. They're on Evergreen now. And we also have Real American Beer, the official beer of the AF1. And for Chris and Colby and Josh, my name is Adam Samrov, and we will see you on Saturday night.